In the heart of Africa, nestled within the secretive and technologically advanced nation of Wakanda, a king was born under the watchful eyes of the ancient tribes and the power of the sacred herb that granted him strength. KingTChalla was no ordinary leader. He was Black Panther, a symbol of hope, justice, and power. His father, T'Chaka, had been a king of honor, guiding Wakanda with wisdom and peace. But with his passing in a tragic attack, the mantle of leadership fell on T'Challa's shoulders far earlier than anyone expected. T'Challa, though young, was no stranger to responsibility. He had trained rigorously, mastering both the physical and mental challenges that came with being the Black Panther. The heart-shaped herb, a gift from the panther goddess Bast, enhanced his strength, agility, and senses to superhuman levels, but it was his intellect, sharp as the claws of the panther, that truly set him apart. He had studied the ways of diplomacy, technology, and combat, becoming a leader prepared to face the numerous threats that lurked beyond Wakanda's borders. As the new king, T'Challa faced immediate challenges. Wakanda had long remained hidden from the world, its riches and technological advances kept secret. The world, unaware of the vibranium beneath Wakanda's soil, had its own concerns. Colonial powers sought to control the resources of the African continent, and there were whispers of other nations intent on exploiting Wakanda's treasure. As the world's eyes turned toward him, T'Challa knew he had to balance the preservation of Wakanda's isolation with the need to protect his people. In his first year as king, T'Challa worked diligently to understand the depth of his responsibility. His advisors, including the wise Shuri, his sister and genius technologist, and the fierce Okoye, leader of the Dora Milaje, were invaluable to his success. Together, they strengthened Wakanda's defenses, ensuring that no threat could breach their borders. Yet T'Challa was aware that the outside world would not remain at peace for long, and that the real challenges lay in confronting the rising tide of conflict beyond his kingdom. A new enemy soon emerged, one unlike any T'Challa had faced before. Erik Killmonger, a Wakandan exile with a vendetta against the throne, returned with plans to overthrow the monarchy and seize control of Wakanda's vast resources. Fueled by rage and a desire for retribution, Killmonger's vision for Wakanda was one of global dominance, an empire of power where the oppressed peoples of the world would rise through force. He sought to use Wakanda's vibranium to fuel a war that would change the balance of power in the world forever. The clash between T'Challa and Killmonger was not just a battle of strength, but of ideology. T'Challa, raised in the wisdom of his father, believed in the peaceful advancement of Wakanda through diplomacy and technology. Killmonger, on the other hand, had seen the suffering of his people in the streets of Oakland and believed that Wakanda's isolationism was a betrayal to the African diaspora. The heart-shaped herb, which bestowed the powers of the Black Panther, was the key to their battle, and T'Challa's decision to fight for his people and his values would shape the future of Wakanda. Their battle took place in the heart of Wakanda, where tradition and modernity collided. The kingdom's sacred rituals were put to the test as T'Challa fought for survival of his lineage. Though weakened by the challenge of Killmonger's ferocity and his own doubts, T'Challa ultimately triumphed in their fierce battle, reclaiming the throne and reaffirming his commitment to the ideals of peace, justice, and technological progress. But T'Challa knew that victory over Killmonger did not mean the end of challenges. The world was watching, and the very vibranium that had kept Wakanda hidden was now known to the outside world. Global powers sought to control it, and with the rise of more complex threats like the secretive group Hydra and the ruthless terrorist organization AM, T'Challa realized that Wakanda could no longer remain in the shadows. The king began a new chapter in his leadership. He sought to open Wakanda to the world, but on his own terms. He invited select nations and leaders to witness Wakanda's advancements and to learn from its wisdom. The world was still skeptical, but T'Challa was determined to forge alliances that would benefit both Wakanda and the global community. This was no easy task. Diplomacy was a delicate art, and the scars of colonialism and exploitation ran deep in many nations. One of his greatest allies in this mission was his sister Shuri, who had become a leader in her own right. With her brilliance in science and technology, Shuri was key to unlocking potential for a new age in Wakanda. She developed technologies that could not only change the lives of Wakandans, but could be used to heal the planet, offering new solutions to the world's most pressing problems. Her work in creating sustainable energy, medical advancements, and powerful new tools was revolutionary, and she became one of the most admired innovators in the world. Yet with the rise of Wakanda's international prominence came the risk of new enemies. The allure of Vibranium and Wakanda's riches drew the attention of mercenaries, criminal organizations, and even powerful corporations with nefarious intentions. These new threats forced T'Challa to further refine his role as protector of Wakanda. The Black Panther was no longer just a warrior, but a global symbol of strength, leadership, and justice. One of the most pressing threats came in the form of a covert organization called the Black Order, led by Thanos, a cosmic warlord bent on collecting all the Infinity Stones to reshape the universe. The Black Order sought the power of Wakanda's Vibranium, knowing it could enhance their technological weapons. With the fate of the universe at stake, T'Challa found himself in the heart of a battle that transcended his own kingdom. The war was devastating. As Thanos' forces struck across the globe, T'Challa stood alongside his fellow Avengers, including Iron Man, Captain America, and the mighty Thor, in the struggle to protect the Earth from Thanos' wrath. As the conflict escalated, T'Challa was forced to make impossible decisions, balancing the safety of his people with the greater good of the planet. The sacrifices were immense, and the toll it took on Wakanda was felt deeply. In the final confrontation, after Thanos' victory in collecting the Infinity Stones, the universe was nearly undone with a snap of his fingers, wiping out half of all life. Wakanda stood on the brink of destruction, but T'Challa's resolve was unwavering. He and his allies fought on, knowing that there was still hope. With the help of the Avengers and the use of the Time Stone to undo Thanos' destruction, T'Challa's leadership and the strength of his people became a beacon of hope for the future. When the dust settled, T'Challa knew that the world had forever changed. The fight against cosmic forces had brought humanity closer together, but it had also shown the deep fractures in society that still needed healing. Wakanda, once an isolated nation, was now a key player on the global stage. But T'Challa did not see this as a threat. He saw it as an opportunity for growth, unity, and the healing of a fractured world. In the years that followed, T'Challa worked tirelessly to ensure that Wakanda's leadership in science, diplomacy, and global justice would help rebuild a broken world. He also focused on healing the wounds caused by centuries of inequality and oppression. T'Challa's vision was not just for Wakanda, but for a world where nations work together to solve common problems, and where peace and understanding triumph over division and hatred. T'Challa's legacy as both a king and a hero continued to grow, not just in Wakanda, but throughout the world. As Black Panther, he was more than a protector of his people. He was a symbol of hope for all, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there was light to be found in leadership, courage, and the pursuit of justice. And so, KingTChalla's reign continued, not just as a monarch, but as a beacon for a new era. A world where the ideals of peace, unity, and progress were no longer dreams, but the guiding principles that would shape the future for generations to come. With the heart of a king and the strength of a panther, T'Challa led his people into an age of prosperity, knowing that while the future was uncertain, his commitment to justice would always light the way.